even though it's really windy and there's no sun, it's really warm and everyone is looking up at the sky and taking pictures. If you want to start a story well, start it like this. So I had a plan, and that plan was to go into Bristol and ask people about the definition of pretentiousness. Now, as the idea evolved, it started out as just vox popping people, which is quite a simple thing to do. But then I thought, maybe I should go and vox pop all of the charity workers, the ones that drag out the streets. You know, they're a little bit annoying, they're always kind of trendy, and they're always nice, and they're always approachable, but I mean, they are doing a valuable job in society. I'm not disputing that, but sometimes it's a bit intrusive. Anyway, turns out everyone I asked, they were like, they couldn't do it because they were worried about the integrity of the brand. They don't know who I am. I'm not like the BBC. Do you know what I mean? And also, even if I was, they would have to organise it. So that idea fell flat on its face. I did actually ask one young couple, which I will now stick in now. So what is the definition of pretentiousness?
No clue.
Brilliant. But as you can see, like, I don't know, the idea didn't float really. So do you know what? I'm not going to do something like that again. A lot of this process has been about getting outside of my comfort zone and doing something different, which is what this is, talking to camera. Which, you know, there's something quite sort of, it plays on a very certain part of your self-consciousness. It's a very, very specific bit in your brain. And that's been good, but I draw the line, I think, at going up to strangers in the street and asking them a question which is almost sort of sarcastic and ironic, and they don't know who I am. I'm not the vlogger that I think I am, and I'm happy with that. Anyway, back to, I don't know, a time lapse or something. Hi, I'm going to keep the sunglasses on. I've just dropped off at Heathrow as the cuts may have, and the time lapse, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it doesn't look sunny today. It's not sunny, but it is quite bright, so I'm going to keep the sunglasses on. So do please excuse that. I know I'm not Casey Neistat. He's the only person who gets a pass on this. Today I want to talk to you about this book here. It's called Pretentiousness. It's about pretentiousness. A bit too close to that car in front. I'm just going to back off a little bit. So this is, I mean, it's set in a sort of a normal, what is it? I mean, it's a fact book. It's not fiction. It's about pretentiousness. It's by a man who is a art critic. His name is Dan Fox, and he, you'd expect him to be pretentious. You'd expect him to be a little bit unapproachable. This book, however, is not unapproachable. It's actually very warm, which I think is the thing that I like the most about it. So in this book, it's like a long form essay. It's in a sense, it's like a long form essay, I suppose, and separated out into different chapters. And he uses really nicely. He uses little quotes from either art or literature or plays. There's a "with Nail and I" quote in there, which is a guaranteed way, I think, to win me over. It should be a guaranteed way to win you over as well, because that's, as we all know, a piece of genius. The book, he talks about pretentiousness, what it actually is, what it actually means. I think that we all know in our spines, I think we all know what the word means. I think it's misused a lot. I think it's used a lot in the sense of, I don't understand that, so thus it is pretentious, or that is something that seems to be apart from the norm, so thus it's pretentious. That's what this book is about. It's an exploration of that kind of idea that we all have about pretentiousness. And I think that's the in into the book, really, is that he's quite clear about the definition of what snobbishness is and what pretentiousness is, what the difference between those two things are. But really, the thing that the book achieves the best, God, that's a terrible sentence, isn't it? Let's forget that ever happened. The great achievement of the book is that it is encouraging to people who are creating art or who are writing. That's the big thing. I mean, it comes from Fitzcarraldo Editions, which is a publisher which I've already done a couple of pieces by. I've done Olga Tokarczuk's book, Flight. I'm yet to read another one of their books by Svetlana Alexievich, who won the Nobel Prize for that very book, in fact, a couple of years ago. They're a small publisher, but they deserve your money. And I think that if you are a writer or an artist, particularly if you're a writer, which is what I am, which is why I do this vlog, it should join a collection of books which will give you encouragement, which will push you on. The other book that I think that it should join really is Reality Hunger by David Shields. In fact, this book was shoved into my hand by a former lecturer of mine, Dr. Martin Randall, who said that it had changed his life. It had changed his life. But do you know what? That's not an overstatement. It probably taught him to be confident in what he's doing and who he is. And that, I think we can all agree, is no bad thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find somewhere to pull over, which will most likely be Reading Services. And I'm going to read you the last section of it. Radio 6 music.
He says, I don't know if you're still after bird-related songs for Guy, but if so, I'd like to recommend Dove by T-Rex. I love this song because of the wistful opening lyric, all my days are leafy blue because I'm not with you.
This is my favourite bit of the book. Actually, that's not true. It's not my favourite book. But there's loads of my favourite bits of this book, which means by definition they're not my favourite. Bear with. This is a really great section. Pretension is about overreaching what you're capable of, taking the risk that you might fall flat on your face. Without people stretching themselves and, self-consciously or otherwise, risking failure, most of the major works of art, music, literature, cinema, dance, philosophy, science, clothing, design, architecture, engineering, horticulture and cuisine that we cherish would simply not exist. New discoveries would not be made or, like many great innovations, accidentally stumbled across. It is the engine oil of culture. Every creative motor needs it in order to keep running and not seize up and corrode with complacency. So go and create something. Stop being complacent. Go and be pretentious. Go and do that.